Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. When I was younger, I used to be in church. There were certain parts of services that used to freak me out. The part where, people praying or people are singing and then somebody starts, they start doing we call it manifesting. And that's basically when somebody starts falling all over the place, running around and doing whatever. As young people, that freaked us out. I won't lie, right? We used to just we would be praying or pretending to pray because sometimes young people are just sleeping and just going through the motion. And as soon as something like that happens, boom, we all look and then right? We freeze and it's like we're watching a show but also staying away at the same time. And the general gist of it is that we had been taught that whenever things like that were happening, if anyone was in sin or doing all sorts, or maybe like not saved or not a Christian or had been doing bad things the night before, that whatever is on that person will jump on you. That's not how it works, all right? And I know where the scripture comes from. There's a scripture in the Bible where Jesus cast out legions from a person and put them into pigs or whatever. And that was the end of them. So people assume that demons can just fly in and out of people and just possess them and whatever. And I think there were some Nigerian movies that people watched as well that gave us that that impression. But guys, listen, as a Christian, the enemy, the devil, spirits, name it, they cannot just jump on you. I think some people even watch the movie The Exorcist. I'm not pronouncing it right, don't worry. I remember a movie in Nigeria called Agbara Nla. For those of you who are Yoruba, you will know that movie. And that movie is worse than any horror movie I've ever seen in my lifetime. And even till today, I'm never going to watch it. It's not a movie I ever want to see again. And it's basically Nigeria's version of The Exorcist. The way they acted that movie, I could not sleep for weeks. It just gave the impression of what the enemy can do to somebody. While those things may be true to some extent, context matters. God did not give the devil the power to just possess you just because, okay? Do you know why? If your choice is negated, then you are not responsible for your sin. If something can just possess you and make you do something, your choice is negated. Already, Christians, you are protected. You are protected from whatever the enemy tries. You are given the power of will. The enemy can only influence you. So influence means whispers. If the enemy could do what you guys are thinking, he could have just jumped in Adam in the Bible, right? Instead of going, Adam or Eve, eat the apple, you want it. No, he could have just jumped in them, make them eat the apple, jump out. Job done, right? But he knew he couldn't do that. He needs you to choose sin for yourself. He needs you to choose him for yourself. If you don't make that choice, he can't hold you responsible. Do you know how they can do that? You letting them do that. So that means going to places. Yeah, that's very important. Going to occultism, witchcraft, like everything that you already know that is the devil's stuff. Going there, he can get you because you're in his territory, all right? He can get you because you're playing with his stuff. What are you doing at a Satanist church? What are you doing at a spiritualist place? What are you doing in a haunted house, a haunted thing? What are you doing in necromancy? What are you doing in a recreation of exorcism? What are you doing watching horror movies? There are certain places and things you don't mess with because that just gives the enemy the authority that he needs. But you avoiding those extreme things, and I do call them extremes because you wouldn't go to a Satanist church just because anyway, you're going to a Satanist church rebelling against God. So you're already doing something that is allowing the enemy into your life anyway. But you being a normal Christian, where is he going to get you? He can't, right? He doesn't have that authority. You're not dabbling. You're not opening witchcraft book and reading it. You're just living, right? Living and trying to be righteous, making mistakes along the line. Yes, sinning along the line. Sin does not give him the right to jump into your life, okay? Especially if your sin is not, perpetuated. You're not like keep doing it, and you don't care. Like you're broken, you realize what you're doing, and you're repenting, and you're trying to find ways to stop what you're doing. So there's a level of protection that we enjoy as Christians. There are people that I know, like, people who are reading tarot cards, people who are observing the moon, people who are observing star signs. People are doing all sorts of things opposite of God. They are exposing themselves to whatever the enemy can get to them at that point, right? Because those things are opposite. Those things are, things that are known to attract some types of spirituality. But as a child of God, as a Christian, the enemy cannot just possess you and make you do whatever. Let's not be afraid of the enemy, doing things that he had not been given the power to. For, like there's so many stories in the Bible, guys, that prove this. Job is another one, The enemy couldn't make him say what he wanted to say, like, because it could have been a rap. He said to God, I can do this to him, I could do this to him, I could do this to him, and I can make him reject you. He could have gone to Job, possessed him, make him say those things, come out, right? It's a rap, but he couldn't. He had to do things around Job. Influence, right? Influencing you to do something is what he can do. He had to take away his stuff, touch his business, touch his money, touch his family, and touch his health. And the only reason he could touch the health of Job was because God allowed him. Okay? God is the one who said, go, you can do whatever you want to him, but you cannot touch his life. Which means if God did not give him that permission, he could not have done any of those things. I'm even going as far as saying he couldn't have even touched his possession without God's approval. So Christian, the enemy cannot just jump on you. All right? You can't just be in church, somebody's doing activity over there, and then boom, the enemy possesses you. You've been watching too many Marvel movies. Stop watching that Doctor Strange multiverse of madness thing. It's not even, the enemy cannot just jump on you. Avoid going to certain extreme places, avoid doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, That's like smoking, right? As a Christian, you're smoking, but you don't expect to get cancer. Doesn't make sense, right? Because you are doing something that will result in that. In this context, going to a Satanist church and doing blood sacrifice or cutting yourself or whatever to the devil and not expect anything to happen doesn't make sense. Guys, I don't know whether this has helped anybody. It's just something that I noticed that young Christians were concerned about, and I know I was concerned about it when I was younger. So let me know your thoughts. Have you always been worried about this? Have you had experience around this? Is this something that has held you back before? Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment, like the video, share it, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.